It's time to look at more freshman running backs from the 2023 recruiting class. And today we're going to be looking at Christopher Johnson, 4-star running back prospect, going to the U, going to Miami. And this is going to be a fun highlight package to watch. I'm excited to share this one with you guys. But before we dig in, make sure you tap that subscribe button, whether it's with your finger on your phone or a click of the mouse. Make sure you get it done, because we're going over these prospects every day until we get into the season, and then we're covering live action in season. And John Cena's back there watching you. You don't want to disappoint him, so make sure you click that button. But let's dig in. Let's look at Christopher Johnson, 4-star in the composite, 3-star in the rankings. That's the thing that I've been wondering about this whole time. Going to check the highlights for that. Look at more of this profile, get an understanding here. But RB17 in the composite, RB25 in the rankings. Very interesting there. Very interesting with that variance. From the Florida area, so he's staying in his hometown area. 5'11", 178 pounds. Again, those are older listed weights. Chime in the comments below if you're a fan of the U and you already know his listed weight or whatever. Take a look at that. Enrolled in 5/20/2023, so a later enrollee compared to some of these other players. But you look at the market. I call this market. All the programs look at them, and it's not all of them, because they're not going to get all of them. They act like they do. They're not. 34 offers, 3 visits, 1 coach visit. Look at some of these teams. Miami, Clemson, Ole Miss, Alabama. You got some of those top schools up there. And then you look at where you got them ranked at. RB25. Interesting. 100 meters, 10.45. He's cooking. He is cooking. That is in 2022. About a year or so ago. 2078, 200 meters. This guy has got speed. One of the fastest prospects of the 2023 class. We can tell by that number. Florida's 3A track meet in both 100 and 200 meter dashes. Took gold. I'm just reading spots of this. Does a nice job getting out of trouble in the backfield, making first defender miss. Vision is somewhat of a strength, as he understands quickly to find daylight. When it comes to catching passes, he has shown that he can track the ball. Success running between the tackles at the Power 5 level. Not one that offers much value in the pass protection either overall. Should be viewed as a potential weapon on Saturdays that offense coordinators can get creative with. He's got speed. He's going to be fun to watch. Could thrive in a variety of different systems, but likely to be best when he's getting the ball in space. That makes sense. That makes sense with that idea. Here we go. Looking up here, they do not have a comparison for him. Let's see. Talking about all his track numbers, we already know he's fast from that. Don't have his stats. Very interesting prospect. I'm crazy to look at these highlights. I want to see those. All of these programs wanted him. Yeah, RB25. Did something come out in the news on this guy that was negative? That's the only thing that makes me wonder why they ranked him and bumped him down to a 3-star. Composite has him as a 4-star. Want to look at all that. But you know what? Let's see what the highlights say. What kind of prospect are we looking at? Boom. Let's start things off. Handoff. Yep, I see the speed. You see the speed. You see explosiveness first. You didn't get to the speed yet. Here we go. And then there he goes. There he goes. He knows he has it. We ain't even seen him hit top speed yet. There's the hole. Bounces out. Moves laterally well. Jets out there. Catches the ball. And they mentioned how, he won't offer much in pass protection. And the thing about a guy with this speed and this explosive, you got to split out wide, run 9 routes. The thing about this, the guy that you use in the passing game, you don't need him in pass protection. You just have him run routes. And you got to account for his speed. You got to have a body where he's at. And I'm projecting for the NFL level too. Whenever I look at these guys for Devy Fantasy Football, some of you guys are projecting for your team. Some of you guys are projecting for your recruiting because you like looking up recruiting stuff. And this is a lot of different avenues when we're looking at these players. I kind of look at the Devy fantasy football aspect. If you like recruiting and you like college football, you love playing Devy fantasy football. Looking at his speed, though, let's see if we can get more on it. Good pop off the step, explosive, weaves in and out of everything, and just takes it home. He's arrogant with it, too. He knows he has it once he gets that open space. You can just tell. You ain't seen him hit his top speed yet. Look at him hit that crease. And the thing is, I'm trying to get a gauge on his size because that 178 might be a little light compared to what he's really at in these highlights. When you're that fast and that explosive, you still build up inertia at the point of contact. He may not be as powerful as a 230-pound back, not have the size and strength, but that's still hard to stop, especially at the high school level. Hits that crease there. He runs with his hair on fire. So when you're assertive and explosive, that just means you're extra explosive, really. Just that pop off those first two steps. Huge, huge for a running back. This is one of the fastest running backs we've seen. And he's also one of the most explosive. They didn't even mention his acceleration. They never mention a player's acceleration in the description. I don't know if they scout for that when they do this. And I'm talking about 24/7 sports. Catches the ball. Catches the ball. They didn't talk about his receiving chops. They didn't talk about him going in the slot. They mentioned him not offering much as a pass protector, but just have him run routes. Just have him run routes. Good weapon. Look at that. Dead leg city. Again, I'm prospecting for Devy fantasy football level mostly. And how he can transition to the NFL level, how that pathway will look like. He's got nasty vision, and he moves really well in a phone booth. He's very explosive. He is very explosive. That's what I like to see. And he's fun to watch. That's a fun player to watch, and he can really hammer it home. I can definitely see why all those collegiate programs were after him, then went to the U. I can definitely see why he was a garnered high-end prospect. I think, honestly, the collegiate programs ranked him higher than what the recruiting service did. You got yourself an athlete. You got yourself a player who can really ball out here, really make a difference. And that upside from the speed's huge. That upside can get you on notice. That upside there, if you have a good collegiate career you develop from this, can get you drafted. Because that speed, because I guarantee, he's listed at 178, I guarantee he's a little heavier now. I guarantee he's going to be even heavier in a couple years when he's midway through his collegiate career. I imagine that speed's going to stay there. 10.46, just hitting that any time in your life as an athlete like that. You're cooking. You're cooking. You got top tier speed, and you're going to have that for a long time. And that's going to be huge for him at the next level. That's going to be huge for him at the NFL level. If he gets there at the combine, it looks good. It would be looking good if he does well training up for the 40. There's a lot to look at this prospect. There's a lot of upside here. There's a There's a ton of upside here. And when you get to these rankings, and I think when you start looking at these prospects, once you get out of the top 12 or so, maybe these recruiting services should also look at upside as well and factor that more in. Because if you're good and you're stable, you're a little ho-hum, that might be all right. But a guy like this with more upside that's comparable, but might have a little more downside maybe, depending on what they saw, you may want to factor that in a little bit more. Because that upside, if you hit, you're looking at a player that can be one of the best in the country, one of the best coming out for his draft class, a very good prospect that can do some different things, and compared to some of the other running backs in this class, most running backs in this class, because of that speed, I'm very interested to see how he projects. I'm very interested to see how he develops. But I'm into Christopher Johnson. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you tap that subscribe button, smash that like button, do whatever you can, smash all the buttons. I'm going to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.